Hey guys, this is Zoe, and welcome back to my podcast. Today I have a very special guest with me, which is Lindsey Rivenburgh.
All right.
And thank you so much for coming today.
Yeah, no, super excited.
Yes, me too. And I just want to start off today, guys, with just talking about how I even know Lindsey in the first place. We go back really far back.
Oh my gosh.
Like,
you were my first friends, I think.
You know, exactly.
Yeah.
And we met in daycare.
Yeah.
I think we did, I don't even know if we did daycare.
And every birthday party.
Exactly. Wait, no, it wasn't. Not Justin Bieber. It was Big Time Rush theme.
Oh yeah.
Birthday party at my house.
I'll never forget.
We had those nice birthday parties back then. That's all we got to say.
We're the cool kids.
Exactly. But no, back then though, we've known each other for our whole lives basically, since we were young all the way up, and we've seen each other grow in several different ways.
Yeah, it's one of those things where time doesn't really change anything. You see each other and it's like, oh my gosh, what happened?
No, exactly. And we're just able to just connect so well, which is like so nice.
Yeah.
Because like it just doesn't feel ever different or like awkward
No,
or
it's always a
anything.
conversation.
Exactly. But anyways though, going into a little bit more like who Lindsey is as a person and what you see her doing is fitness. And with fitness with you, from what I know of is that you started within February of 2022, is that right?
Yeah, I think it was the beginning of February I really got into it. It kind of was a bunch of things. I think everyone always is kind of like, I want to look better, or thinking about different foods to eat, but it's really just the aspect of like getting into it. And I think it did take me a while to break the threshold. But I would say that I made consistency in the beginning of February, and that's when I was like, hey.
You're like, this is really working right now.
Yeah,
like, I'm loving this. I'm
my personality now, yeah.
Right? But when fitness is your personality, we love that.
Not a bad personality to have, no.
Exactly. But yeah, no, I know like you've also like with social media too, with TikTok, I've noticed you've really gained a lot of social media through that.
Yeah. I think that it's a good community. I wouldn't say like I'm like, I wouldn't even call myself an influencer, more like I have an influence on a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to think. I think that it's a great way to, it's not even a message, but just spread some awareness, or like at least put something into someone's head. If you can put something into someone's head that I want to do that, or I want to look like that, that's like a step closer for them to start their journey.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Like you're able to motivate others to like be, oh my God, like, I want to gain what she just gained. Like, that's crazy, especially when you show your transition videos I've seen. They're insane. Like, obviously, I've known you my whole life, too. Like, the difference is insane.
Yeah.
She is literal muscle mommy, guys. I'm sorry. She is the definition of muscle mommy.
Yeah.
That's what we got to say, though.
Yeah, no, it's so crazy because, for me, myself, too, I'm like, well, oh my gosh, I don't look like I did a few years ago. But you never really, you always associate yourself with, I at least associate myself with a picture still. So it's still me. It's just different form, not my final form, but
right. No, exactly.
It's cool to watch from your own perspective as well, and I like hearing feedback from others too.
No, exactly. I feel like the feedback always like validates us too, because even though we're doing it for ourselves in the end, sometimes we always need to hear a little bit of that validation and know we are doing it and everyone's seeing it too.
No, I think that's huge, and especially for me. I think I like posted a fitness video, and it may have not needed to be posted, but there was those few people who were like, you actually look pretty good, and those are the only few people besides for that voice in your head that you may need to keep going. And I think that as long as you have that voice, those extra added encouragement, it really is like, okay, I think that I can do this.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
And I feel like a support system too. Like everyone needs a little bit of that support system.
Yeah.
It's very helpful. Like you should always be your biggest supporter, but the support system really does help a lot.
Yeah, and that's also why I like TikTok too, because I was like, oh, it's like extra support. Like,
exactly.
Cool. Yeah.
They're rooting you on. Like everyone else is rooting on as much as you're rooting yourself on.
Yeah,
which is super nice.
I enjoy it.
Right? Exactly. I mean, who would've? I mean, not everyone.
Some people say like, social media is bad, and I think that I don't feel pressure to post on social media or anything like that, but I think that I also I like to share how I feel, kind of like, it is a big accomplishment completely transforming your body, like especially after you've had a kid. Like that's something I never thought I would do coming out of pregnancy. It was just have this image I have of myself now, and it's something that I really like. I'm proud of it. Like when you get a nice car, you show your car off. Like,
exactly.
Show my car off.
No, I love the analogy. You just went with that with the car.
Yeah.
But no, that's so true though. Like you're doing this for a reason. You're doing this for you. Like obviously you're gonna show it off and you're gonna show like, look at guys, look at how far I've came.
Yeah, no.
Because you truly did. Like you're insane difference. Like I don't know.
Yeah, and then just mentally too. That's the thing too. Is like I think that associating fitness with like a mental journey sometimes is dismissed because oh you just look good, but it really is that like the aspect of self discipline that I became like thoroughly addicted to.
Exactly.
Like, this is great.
No, right?
Yeah.
And then going into the mental health more part, when you were talking about mentality and stuff with that, I really want to go over some questions and have you walk me through some things. So I just want you to walk me through how your mindset was before you went to the gym and just kind of go through the process and just really show like what your mind was thinking. Like what was Lindsey before the gym?
Yeah, so I think that I wouldn't say I was in like a bad place because I think you can always be in worse places than you think you are at the time. But I think I I knew that I needed some change in my life in the spot I was in. Um, and I really, you only have control over yourself. You can't control your life completely as much as you'd like to think you can. You really
Exactly.
can't. So I kind of took that initiative of like not only just doing it for the fitness, but I think it became my space. Like it became my my therapy, my peace. Everyone's like the gym's my therapy, but oh my gosh, like especially I was a single mom, like you don't have that outlet as much as you'd like, and I was getting a physical benefit out of it. So, but I think before the gym, I was definitely, I would say, not as motivated as I wanted to be. Yeah.
And you feel like it helped you like stay on track with things and be more disciplined within yourself.
Yeah, no, I think that it showed me, I had discipline as a mother. When you become a mom, you don't get to do not even half the things you could
don't
before.
exactly. You don't really have as much free time to
Yeah.
like, and you have there's so much structure.
Yeah. So I think I had that discipline from being a mom, but I needed to move it to a level for myself, like to where I was like, yeah, you can make a routine in your life around being a mom, but you also have to feel okay being yourself at the same time.
Exactly. Like you're giving all to your daughter, and like that's what I feel like moms need to get this credit because they give all to their kids, but like what about themselves?
Yeah.
Like that's exactly what you're finding is your gym's the outlet. Like that is your other space. Like you said, your safe space, your therapy. Like that's like your other area just to go and be like, this is for me.
It really is like
that.
This
is for me. Like because you associate everything with your kid. Like that's your life. That's your world.
And I think too, like going to the gym and having that discipline, I love that she can watch that. I love that when I tell her to flex, she can flex, but also she knows that mom goes to the gym, she hangs out with a babysitter, her friend, family, and I come back, I'm jacked after. But I think that as she gets older, I mean, I bring her to the gym with me, and she sees some of the at home regimen that goes along with that, and I think that it's awesome for kids to look up to. Not necessarily meaning she needs to get on that path, but the fact that she sees that someone can be disciplined, and especially as a role model, I feel like it holds a lot of weight.
Exactly. I totally get that too. It's like, because they're looking up to you. You're her role model, obviously. Like, that's your mother. Like, that's your biggest role model in life. They're going to look at those things and, like, truly take them on the rest of their life.
Yeah.
And that's going to really show her a lot. Like, wow, like, look what mom's doing.
Yeah.
No, I want to do that for myself.
I think it's awesome. Hopefully one day she'll live with me.
She's going to get big.
Yeah, we'll get Jack together.
And then, so going off of that, so the beforehand, you were going to the gym. And now, walk me through the process of how you started going to the gym and what like made you want to start going. You're like, maybe I should go.
Yeah, so I think I started off at the Y, which is like a public gym. And honestly, it was super discouraging when I first started. I think that it was like, it wasn't my atmosphere for a gym, but I think it was a great stepping stone. Getting into it was just pushing myself. And I mean, sometimes I would stay in like the secluded room most of the time, and honestly in the bathroom quite a bit. But I think that I had it in me. Like I was like, this is gonna go somewhere, and like I just need to keep going. Like keep having these days. Like enough you know, half effort days will, they'll still get somewhere, and
Exactly.
you learn. You live and you learn.
So when you're mentioning on how when you started first going to the gym and you're talking about your process, you were mentioning on how you were being in the secluded rooms and you kind of were like in a little bit of a more secluded area because I'm assuming that you were nervous at first and it
Yeah.
was a newity. So what would you tell someone who's wanting to start going to the gym but they're too scared of it because there's a lot of factors. People are scared they're gonna get judged because like I don't know what machine to use. Like I don't know, people are gonna judge me and look at me. Like what would you tell someone?
I would tell someone you're doing this for yourself, first of all. But I mean, you can only say that. It's not going to make all the feelings and emotions that come with that go away. But no, I think that it's no one's looking at you and thinking, oh, they could be doing that better. Or, and if they are, honestly, most of the time they'll say something. And I think once I got out into the gym a bit more and people did start helping me, I realized, like, oh, this is like a good community to be helped in. Like, it's really, you're all going to the gym to lose some weight, maybe, everyone has different goals, really, but you're all in the gym at the same time. If you're there at the same time of the day, trying to accomplish, at least some of the same genre of goals, like, it doesn't matter, so you can't let your fear overcome your progress, really. Like, you have to break
Exactly.
that mental barrier of, I can't do this because, or like, this is hard because. You just have to be like, I have to because.
I love that because going off of that, or because there
Yeah,
can't be those because like, oh my god, I'm saying it like a
it
million times, but
spirals.
if you keep on
Yeah,
saying that, well, exactly, you're aspiring, you're gonna say it, but when are you gonna actually do it? You're gonna
yeah,
keep on saying these things, you wanna do it, you wanna do this, but no, I can't because of that, I'm nervous, I'm scared. Okay, well, is that it's never gonna happen if you don't do it.
yeah. And like with the machines and stuff too, that is huge. And honestly, like, YouTube, TikTok, like,
Yes,
and
exactly.
ask someone, like, if you see someone doing something at the gym, like, go up next to them and be like, I want to do that. Like, where do you feel that? How do you feel that? Can you help me not, look stupid? And half the time with form, you're so worried about doing what you see other people do to look right like them if it looks good. You're not focusing on what feels good for your body, and what feels good, you
Yes.
usually look good doing it.
Exactly, because everyone's different. Like someone could be doing it a little slightly different than me. And they're like, no, you gotta do it this way. I'm like, but I'm feeling it in the right spots where I
Yeah,
should be hitting. Then you should be still doing it that way because sometimes people have to do things a little bit differently. Like everyone's body's different.
yeah, yeah.
That's the complete story
And it
about
really
it.
does change the game. Like, I know people with long femurs have a hard time squatting and stuff like that. So I mean, I personally don't really look at someone in the gym and say, like, I
Mm.
don't have like an ill.
You're not looking like, ugh, what are they doing? You're
Yeah,
like,
no.
what?
And if the only time I would feel like that is if they're gonna hurt themselves.
Exactly. When you're like really worried and they're like, back hunched and they're like,
Like,
they're
I don't
they're
think you're doing that to
deadlifting.
work out. Like,
You're like, your back's gonna break. Don't do that, please.
who are your feelings?
Right? No, exactly. And I feel like that's just great for people to understand and know is like no one really cares about what, not in a rude way, but everyone's doing their own
Yeah.
thing for their own goals. Like you stated, everyone has different goals at the gym, but we're all in the community at the gym because we're all there to complete one of those goals.
Yeah. And I remember how, like, that anxiety of, like, first getting in the gym, at least for me, was just so intense. Like, it was so intense. And that's why
Oh, yeah.
I love when people are like, hey, can you help me out with this? Or, like, sorry to bother you. How do I do this? Or how do you start this? But I just really hope that when I'm telling people this, it's serious, because you can be told something so much and keep it in the back of your head. But, like, the first step is, like, just trying.
And listening and understanding, like, okay, just do it.
Yeah.
Because who cares? It doesn't hurt if you try.
Yeah, exactly.
And, like, you'll never know how far you'll go if you don't try. Like, if you never tried going to the
Oh
gym
my
in the first
gosh,
place, girl,
I know.
you wouldn't be where you are
That.
today. You know what I mean? Like, that was it's a big core to your life now.
No, it pushed me to accomplish so many goals, like, set and unsaid goals that I can't even process my life without the mindset that I have now as a mother, as an individual. Just like, I'm so thankful for it.
No, really. Like, it just makes you feel whole now.
Yeah, I feel like my own person, not that like the gym makes you your own person, but I feel like I found myself through that.
Yeah, and I feel like whenever I stopped going to the gym and I wasn't consistent anymore, I kind of lost my confidence more again. And like, I feel like that was a help for me too. Is like, you know what I mean? Like, sometimes you kind of realize like the things you do really do implement a lot in your lives. And when you lose that for a second again, kind of gives you that recheck, like, wow, it actually had this much impact on me.
Yeah.
Because,
But
like,
it's also the aspect of it's not gone, you know, like, and you
exactly,
see
you can go right back.
when you maybe see your progress go away, you could compare it to, you know, relationship in your life. When you're not as consistent in people's life, they may fade away, but you can just call them up and try again. Like, it's just kind of stuff like that. And learning consistency applies to so many other aspects.
Exactly. And when you're non-consistent again, you can change that. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
Like with me, my podcast, I just posted my one recent episode. When I was talking about how I wasn't consistent with this podcast, and it was hard for me because I have really bad ADHD and I try to be consistent with things, but like I'm so bad. Like I'm so bad with texting people. I'm so bad with this because I'm just like I'm like MIA. That's all I can describe myself. I'm MIA with everyone, but like I'm there and present when you give me a call.
Yes.
I'll be talking to you. If you're in person with me, I'm going to give you my full undivided attention.
And I think being so aware of issues like that is like good, and it's not even issues really. And I think that we're so aficionated to like this standard of like social media. I don't even know what to call it, just like interactions like that they're needed and you have to keep up to some consistency, but in all reality, like if it's not meant to be, it's not meant to be.
Exactly.
But like with your podcast, like taking opportunities is how you reach goals, like, and that's what I did.
Exactly. You're consistent. Exactly. We're trying to stay consistent, and that's how we're going to reach these goals and become who we want to be and what this idea in our head is, and we see ourselves. We're like, that's where I'm going to get to. Yeah. I know, because we know we can do it. And we just got to work for it.
There's different genres of consistency. Like, you know, you can say going to the gym is 4 times a week is consistent, but also doing a podcast, you know, once every month or once every other month is consistency. So
no, exactly.
It's different for every circumstance.
It really is. And I feel like with people too is like you just come to the realization that consistency is a big part to your life in so many ways, and like you're just not going to be able to achieve the things you want to achieve if you're not consistent with it.
Routine is huge.
That's literally what the episode was about. I'm telling you right now, the routine and like not feeling like kind of come depersonalized. We were actually talking about depersonalization earlier, but when you're out of the routines and you don't feel like you're having that purpose anymore, that's what kind of brings you in the deep end. And like earlier today, I wasn't doing much at all, and I felt like I had no purpose again. And I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like I just did this to myself." And then you're getting mad at yourself, and you're like, "Why didn't I do that? Why didn't I do that?" Well, you can get mad at yourself all you want, but are you gonna take that and change it?
Exactly. It's a matter of doing something. And I think that also is an issue for me is, you know, life is crazy and having a kid makes it a little bit more crazier than, you know, I'd like it to be. But at the same time, I have those feelings of like, you know, I missed maybe a day or two, pushing 3 sometimes. Life happens at the gym and I'm just like, who am I? I'm supposed to be a weightlifter. Like, but at the same time, you know, rest is good.
Yes.
And it's okay to feel uncomfortable a little bit, and I think sometimes you need to do that to like take that time for yourself.
I really like that you said that too. I'm gonna go off that in 2 different ways. So like first part is like when you're talking about like uncomfortable. So like some people don't want to jump the gun or do it because they're scared of it being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Uncomfortable can lead to so many great things.
Yeah.
Being too comfortable with things kind of allows you to seclude in this little bubble, and you're not allowed to be like this big thing to keep on doing all these different things. And that's something that I feel like a lot of people need to realize is like, I would not be doing this if I just listened to my mind and said, no, this is scary. People are going to judge me. I'm scared of this. I'm scared of that.
Yeah.
I said, who cares? I'm going to do it because I really want to help as many people as possible. And I want to try to get up there slowly but surely just so I can spread as much as I can to just make it more reality and like just destigmatize so much for people.
You will not reach different goals doing the same thing. So like,
exactly.
Just by stepping out of any comfort zone, you're making some type of change in your atmosphere, you know. I think that's really important.
No, it really is.
In everyday life.
Literally.
Yeah.
So going off really quick, what we were talking about earlier with routines, with just working out in general, I do want to make a little bit of a turn. I know Lindsay was saying earlier about her daughter, and I just wanted to go a little bit into that more because I know there's a lot of moms out there who would like this advice too, and just like to hear from someone who's a mom, and especially how you're a little bit younger too, and when it started out. So just like to talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah. So I think, I mean, obviously there's a lot with having a kid, you know, younger than your me mom pop would flag for
Mhm.
you, but I think that there's a lot of good things that come with that too. I mean, your frontal lobe is developing and you're learning with a kid, and I think that's it can either go both ways. I mean, it's some people get kind of stuck in this just like this is hard, and I mean people struggle, you know, and I can't like judge other people's struggles not being in it. But for me personally, I just never felt like I was doing enough. Like I was just, you know, what more could I do for my kid?
Yeah.
Like what else could I keep doing? And I think it really just came down to like she needs to have the best mom possible, and I need to be the best version of myself I can be.
Mhm.
So I think that's what really what it always stems down to is everything I do, I know that I'm being watched by the most important person in my life constantly. So it does put a bit of pressure on. But I would say to other moms, you know, it's just a matter of trying. Like, you know, you try new food for your kid, you
Right.
try a new activity, and either it goes well or it doesn't. You know, if you want to, if you're, I'd get a lot of people, a lot of young moms, or just moms in general, who are like, how do I look better? How do I feel better?
Mhm.
And I think the thing is find what works for you, especially if you're a mom, because not everybody
Exactly.
can go to the gym. But you know, even just using body weight at home or like changing your diet, like you'll feel better too. And even if
Mhm.
you don't see results, you're doing something good for yourself, and it's noted by your child. Like,
Exactly, because they do really watch that, and they that it does go on to them. Like I can remember things from my childhood. Everything that we've watched from our parents does make us who we are today,
mm-hmm.
and we do realize that. And little things like, oh, well, it's because how I was like
Yeah.
parented by. You know what I mean? We realize these little tiny things. I'm like, oh, well, it's because of that.
And I think that's also something that's like so bittersweet about like especially being in like your 20s. It's just kind of realizing, you know, even without a kid, you're realizing like, oh, my parents did this because, or maybe I do this because this, and then now
Mhm.
having a kid, you're also realizing, you know, reflecting on your childhood, and then doing the best you can for your kid. And I honestly think that it's super, like it's fulfilling. Like it's
Yeah.
a really good feeling knowing that you are in the moment, learning, doing the best you can. It's I always say, it's everyone's first time living life.
It is. I love
Right.
that. I say the
It's
same thing. I love that.
and I have to tell myself that a bunch because I think all of my feelings are very valid. You
They
know, as a
are.
mother, as a person, I think that that's one thing I told myself so much that made me believe I could do anything, and I think that's you really manifest it.
I love that mindset because it really shows you like we can't be that hard on ourselves either. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to
Yeah,
fail sometimes because we're all human. We're
yeah.
all at this
It's how
one
you
life.
handle it. It's how you handle it. Like it's how you handle any down. Your up is crucial.
Exact.
That's how
I
you make the
love
best of it.
that. Oh
Yeah,
my god, I love
yeah.
that. Exactly. You're literally nailed it right on the head.
I like anytime I'm going through something rough or like I'm in a hard time or like nothing's going right. When I feel that mindset, like I don't want to feel like this. I'm like, what can I learn from this? Like, what can I learn from
Exactly.
this? Like, what is gonna make me get out of this? You know, maybe prepare for next time. So that's huge.
It's trial error. It really is. It's
Mm-hmm.
like, okay, well, or like you're upset about this thing, and then you're like, okay, but what can I do to fix that? What,
Yeah,
like, it's okay. What can I do to change that
and that's
afterwards?
like
It's
what
you live and you learn.
like with young moms and stuff. I think that a matter of it is just like yes, doing it, but also just believing in yourself. Like really, that's huge. You have to put yourself first before you try and do something without that mindset.
Exactly. I feel like kind of going off that a little bit. It's like kind of like you have to love yourself to love others,
Yeah,
and
no,
it's like a
that's
big. I feel
completely
like
true. I believe that you can't be in any type of any functional relationship in your life, family, friends, parent, if you are not your first. You
yeah,
have to put yourself
you
first.
you exactly. You really have to put yourself first. Sometimes it's hard to do that, and we're not meaning it in a selfish way. We're meaning you're always gonna choose you at the end of the day because we have to realize we wake up with ourselves and we go to bed with ourselves at night.
Yeah.
So why not
Yeah.
pick yourself first?
Yeah. And I mean, life is really hard. Like, life, you talk to a
Exactly.
million people and you're going to be like, oh my God, this sounds awful. But you just have to be in the right mindset. And that's so huge.
Mhm.
It's like, you're gonna have bad days, you're gonna have bad weeks, months, and hopefully not years, but you're in control, realistically.
Exactly.
You handle your outcome.
You're the one that's going to be able to take that. Okay, if you had a bad situation, you should be the one to understand. Okay, well, how can I use that as a positive thing?
Mm-hmm.
Like recently, I just was scrolling on TikTok and something came up that kind of like questioned me a little bit, and it kind of upset me. And I was like, "Ugh, are you kidding me? I was like, this is kind of ridiculous.
Those moments are important though.
And they were, cause it was for me because I was like, I felt so sick to my stomach in a way because it was really, I don't even know how to explain that right now. I'm not gonna explain on here, but I like use that as my motivation to do more because sometimes things that we like deal with in our life, we have to use that as our push to do more. Like if you guys watched my podcast with Jody Johnson, I was talking about a situation that happened to me. I was sexually assaulted when I was like really young, and I talked about that in there, and I use that as my motivation. Now I came out about it. I didn't come out about it for years until I was I think it was last year I came out about it. And this happened to me when I was 6 years old, and I was waiting for that person to just die.
And also, you're so young. And I think when tough things happen at young ages, you may need that time in between to like find some other, highs within yourself. Then you can pinpoint those, events and things that bring you down, and you can process them later. It's just it's unfortunate that like I wish we could just wake up and be like, I'm okay now.
You're
But,
like, it never happened.
Yeah, but also like
things happen for a
you
reason.
have to be like okay with like being like this is hard and this sucks, but like
How am I gonna make it through? What can I do for myself to make me push through it?
today.
Exactly, right. Today. Every day you have to push through, and you gotta realize for yourself, not every day you're gonna feel okay though. And that's the reality.
Oh imagine.
Imagine we're all happy and giddy.
Everyone will be so nice at the
Really?
grocery store.
Everyone's so sweet to you.
Yeah, oh my gosh, thanks.
Oh my god, if everyone was so nice to me when I do calls for work, oh my god, I would be so happy. Like sometimes they just make me want to cry. And I'm just like
I think I do like challenges though. I think I don't like drama or any conflict like that, but I like when I have to think, and I like when I have to really like look within myself, and like I like learning about myself. I think it's really fun to just like pick at my own brain. You're like certain circumstances, I'm like, I'm happy that happened. I guess that's cool.
Because it kind of allows you to really think things through, and you're like, how did I say that? Or like when you like deal with a situation and they're not really nice to you, and you were so nice to them, but you still were consistently nice to them about it, even though they're rude. Because you know what? Maybe they were having a bad day. Like, wow, I just did that. Like I was even nice to them.
I think I'm a huge empath too. Like that's something I'm like.
Yes, girl, me too.
I'll be like in the car, like when I see someone that looks sad driving, I'm like, oh my god, like I wonder what's going on.
Right, you want to know what's going on in their life. You're like, oh my god, how could I help that too?
And I don't let it always like. I think there's a fine line where like being an empath becomes overbearing and maybe like an anxious thing where you're always worried about what other people think.
Yes.
But also there's a point where you just have to use it as like a tool to like handle your day-to-day conversations and the way you interact with people and treat people. Like it doesn't have to be a life or death situation. It can be, okay, I'm just using this as knowledge, like I'm not gonna lose sleep over it, but I'm gonna wake up and think about it again.
No, like, exactly. And I just like going off of that a little bit with being an empath, going off a little bit. Anyone who is empath, and maybe you don't know what it is, you can look it up, just to do a little bit more research. You might be one, but sometimes we take people's emotions on too much. We have to allow ourselves to be back in our own little bubble.
Yeah,
like it's okay.
In your own shoes. I always say put myself on people's shoes.
Yeah. I love to like put myself in other people's shoes. I'm a big person that always does that, but we can't allow it to affect us too much.
Yeah.
We can care about people, but we cannot allow their emotions to completely take yours.
You just have to like take away an appropriate amount.
Exactly. I like the appropriate amount part because there's a little bit you can take on a little bit, you know what I mean? Like feeling sad for them and stuff and like sad about it, but you cannot allow that to suck you up whole.
Yeah, everything in moderation. Carbs and friends.
I love it. You're like, carbs and friends. We love some carbs. No, exactly.
Not too much.
Literally. But going back a little bit with you being a mom, I just wanted to go over and like how being a mom affected you mentally and like from before having your daughter and then now.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure you got a glimpse of me before. I didn't really think I had a plan for life. I mean, I kind of think I did what a lot of like, I don't think I was in touch with myself at all. Like, I just think that I was just kind of winging it. And honestly, like, something that was huge for me is my family now. And they put me in, like, such a step towards the right direction. But it was just so surreal having my own child. Like, and I think that it obviously, like, mentally was a journey. But I think that I got put in so many hard circumstances and circumstances that I just felt like I wasn't in control of, that when I realized I was just like, okay, boom, boom, boom. And I never looked back. After I started going up with my life, I was just like, I never want to stoop low again, or I never want to let myself feel like I'm stuck. Like, you're not stuck. Like, you can always go up in somehow, shape, or form. And I think that I just used having a daughter as the just drive. Like, okay, no option for failure. Like, we're gonna do good things, and we're gonna do them the best we can. Like, I thoroughly believe in, like, anything you do, just putting your whole heart into it that's the best way. So I think that having a daughter was the best thing ever to happen to me. Like, I don't be like, oh, my kid saved me, but holy cow.
You're like, you just took it like a 180 after that.
Ugh, like, it's great. And I think that having a kid was like my first bit of drive, maybe, to push me towards the gym. Like, I found that I have that ability to be resilient. And, like, I've known this before, but I think having a kid was kind of like, this is real life now.
Right, you're like, this is crazy, like, this is it.
Yeah, so she gave me all the faith and courage I think I was missing.
Yeah. I love that. And you know what I mean? It's able just to, like, really give you that other piece, you know what I mean? Sometimes we have to have a little shake up for things to go perfect.
Yeah, and I mean, people even without kids, like, you just gotta find a reason, any reason.
I love that. There's always something, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And that's like my big motto thing is like, you're loved is like my biggest thing, because like there's always that reason too, like, to do things.
Yeah, and
someone loves you, you know what I mean? Like, there's always something that you'll like to do.
And even if you don't feel loved, I think, like, you can use that, like, and there's like, that's also why I like the gym, is like,
yes,
I'm not just happy going there sometimes, like,
yeah. And then when you go afterwards, you're like, oh my god, I feel good about myself now.
Yeah, and even like having like bad days, like, the first thing I think I was like, I want to go to the gym, but it's because it's that space and I'm using that. Like, exactly. I think it's just a matter of how you use your emotions, and not just with the gym, but like any aspect of your life. Like, something bad happened, okay, how's your day gonna go now?
Exactly.
How are you let it be bad, or like,
are you gonna allow it to just keep on stooping you down and just digging that little hole, and you're just gonna keep on burning yourself in it, or you're just gonna pop right out of it and say, you know what, I'm gonna do this to make me feel better for the day.
And when you have a good sense of control over that, it's like a very reassuring feeling when something bad does happen, because you know, like, okay, here we go again, let's get this over with, let's handle it properly. Yeah,
exactly. And I really liked what you were talking about earlier, how you were saying how you felt like stuck, and that you said like you're not stuck really. You have to come to the realization that you don't have to stay and then be stuck.
I think I was cycling, and I think that a lot of people do that. I still cycle, maybe healthier ways and stuff like that.
Exactly.
But I think that I was stuck in such a negative cycle that the second I like stuck a foot out of it, I was like,
because it's a comfort.
Yeah. When you leave that comfort zone within anything, I'm like, I just feel so awful for people who just have like these awful mindsets, and they're miserable, and like, like, kind of going back to talk about empathy, I look at like elderly people a lot, like people who I look up to people who are older, and not just, to hear what they have to say, just to see how, like, maybe how they handled their outlook on life affects them now.
Yeah,
like, I would
situations too.
I would like to be a happy old lady.
Exactly.
And most people say that they just like learn that it's a learned thing. These are learned behaviors,
Because why not allow like negative things to keep on taking you over when you can just like move on from that and just make yourself happier.
You're in control.
Yeah, exactly. You are in control. Everyone is in control of themselves. You just have to realize it to the extent to be able to make yourself happier.
Yeah, I agree completely.
Because, I don't know, there's a lot of people that I've seen that I really, especially the empath things, that like I do take it on a lot, and I hope the best for them. I really do. It just sucks because I know that they're stuck, and they don't think they can get out of it, and they don't care to get out of it either. That's the thing. That's the hard part.
And being like stuck is such a good word for it, because
you are just stuck. They're literally stuck.
But the thing is too, is like those people who have those outlooks that are just like they want to stay, in negative atmospheres or carry a certain persona on them. Like, I'm sure they are not sleeping great at night, and I'm sure that there's a lot more, like, people just act crazy for no reason, like, and I think that it just holds a bigger weight. Like, I would rather keep to myself or spread kindness than share that upon others, you know.
I completely agree. When you spread kindness, it comes back.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And that I'm a big person on that. Like, if you see someone and you like what they're wearing or you like something about it, tell them, because you know
Yeah.
what? They might need it
Yeah.
more than you'll ever know. Like,
Yeah.
that might stick with them for the rest of their life.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, you know, you can put yourself in their spot, like being an empath, like we're talking about. I always think about that too. Like what would I like to hear if I was them right now? Sometimes, like I love when
Right?
girls up in the gym.
Oh my,
I
same.
love it. I'm like, oh my gosh, you look great. And some of them are kind of like they don't know how to react, but I think that's also something that I had to work on too. Was like handling
reactions.
after just like never like having that. And I think it's like it's something that felt wrong at first. Like I felt like I was like I don't know, or like any compliment.
Whoa, yeah.
But then when you like actually compliment yourself, it's a lot easier when other people do it. It's like okay,
Exactly.
I get what you're saying, and it when you can take a compliment, it's good.
No, exactly, because it's gonna just like put it right into yourself, and you're gonna love it. And especially when you give them out to other people, it's gonna make you feel good too.
Yeah.
Like, oh my god, I just made that person's day.
Yeah.
And sometimes if they're a little bit about it, it's okay, because you know what? Maybe
they
just
heard you.
don't. Yeah, they heard you. That's all that matters. Yeah. I love that. They heard you.
They heard you. That's how it is, Phil. You heard me. Think about it.
I love that.
Yeah.
But I do think that this might be all for today.
Yeah, no, I feel like we got a lot done.
I know, I think so too. And I would definitely like to get some of your handles so everyone can follow you. So give me your socials.
Yep, so Instagram and TikTok is Lindsey Riv. That's LindseyRibb. And that's like all I do, actually.
Yes, go follow her, guys. She's great. Watch her journey go on. I'm so excited for her. I know she's going to be doing even more big things we've talked about earlier. I know, I'm so excited, but that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining and tuning in. And always remember, you're loved.